Jay in Charlotte. Jay, welcome to the program.
Dan, 6'1", 27 years old, still can't grow chest hair. I got a quick story and a question. Senior year in broadcast journalism class, I got the yips. During a sports segment, the dean of the journalism school was observing some middle schoolers, and I yelled, "Right where mama hides the good stuff," instead of "right where mama hides the cookie jar," which I had stolen from Stan Verrett the night before. Not a big deal. It's not plagiarism. The dean had suspended me from on air before the end of the news segment that day, and I couldn't do sports the rest of the semester.
Wait.
It was a big-time whoops moment.
Why did you get suspended?
Right where mama hides the good stuff, I guess, could be interpreted in good and bad ways.
Come on. What about First Amendment, freedom of speech here, Jay?
Maybe he didn't like the fact that I was doing Wayne Rooney highlights. I don't think people cared about soccer back then.
So you might have gotten suspended for doing soccer highlights, not because of your catchphrase.
Some of the middle schoolers did fall asleep during my segment. I think that's when I realized it was time to hang up my hat.
All right, what's your question?
Peyton Manning gave a glowing recommendation of Adam Gase to the Jets CEO.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Gase became coach and the GM, and now he's completely undone the team a year later. I feel like nobody's asked, but is it fair to say that Manning's general manager track is not going well right now?
Well, he's not officially a GM, but he's, when it comes to getting a reference, if somebody's got Peyton Manning as a reference there on naming them head coach or promoting them head coach, then we might look at that differently now. Yeah, Paulie?
Back, this kid mentions that he used to sample from you guys at SportsCenter. My last year in college, we had a TV station. Some guys I knew were the sportscasters on the Southern Illinois University campus TV station. They were basically modeling themselves after you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everything was, not boom goes the dynamite, but they were trying to come up with something like sit right here and sit down. When someone would get struck out. There's a guy named Lon Tay. He was the star of our broadcasting department. He had the voice, the looks, the chops, and he could have done SportsCenter that day because he was like tutu, and he would nail the stuff you guys did, but his own version of it.
Yeah, we're given a lot of credit, but then we deserve a lot of blame.
A lot of people modeled them.
For every sportscaster or every wannabe felt like, hey, I got a great catchphrase. And I said, well, do you know sports? Can you write? How do you look? How do you sound? And then they look at you like you're crazy. No, I got a catchphrase. Cowhide, joyride. I went, all righty. You could probably be on ESPN News, maybe not on SportsCenter right now.
Later, he gets the rebound, passes it to the man, shoots it, and boom goes the dynamite.
Oh, it's so good.
Passes it to the man.
To the man. I think it's Reggie Miller is the man. Passes it to Pacer net highlights, passes to the man, and then even when he gives you, boom goes to the dynamite. Like he's almost embarrassed to go, instead of going, boom goes the dynamite. It's like when Stuart Scott would give you booyah. He'd never go, booyah, and boom goes the dynamite. There were times, I remember when we had a non-catchphrase SportsCenter, and you weren't allowed to do any catchphrases. I think Keith and I just decided that then we were going to have a catchphrase where we just mock catchphrases, like the dumbest things you could possibly say. But you were just, because we had this freedom and people expected whatever we were saying. Like,
Mama spills the coffee.
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be. Little Timmy's got a flat tire. Like you'd just throw something out there. That ain't lemonade. That's Kool-Aid. You're just going, and there's no real reference to it. It doesn't mean anything. It's like, what's the dumbest thing we could possibly say? And the fact that management was usually in bed by the time we went on at 11 o'clock, we could have fun. We could kind of stretch the boundaries there a little bit. Until the next day when they came in and then somebody would tell them something and then we'd get ratted out and we'd be, visiting Bob Eaton or Steve Anderson or John Walsh's office. Could you and Keith come in? Oh, God. And bring Mike McQuaid with you, your producer. Oh, God. You go in there and you get a tongue lashing and then you go, all right, thanks, sir. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Hello, everyone. Well, the Ball State softball team continued to play this weekend, and they were hoping to continue off of their straight 3 out of 4 losses. And so we'll take a look and see how that happened. They started off good, but then eventually the Ball State women's team shut down and ended up doing poorly. Oh no. And okay. We're going to continue on now. The Ladies Cardinals will play an Iowa tournament starting this Friday. Before the Ball State baseball team kicks off its conference season this weekend, the Cards will battle an in-state rival Indiana tomorrow. Tomorrow's game will be the meeting between the two, beating both first. Hoosiers are on the 4 on the year, and they have won 6 of its last 7 games. Tomorrow will be the game 3 at 3 p.m.
This goes on for another 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know. They should have put him out of his misery.
If you remember, we had him on, Brian Collins, and he said he was filling in for someone else. He wasn't really even a sports broadcaster. No.
Oh, he proved it.
Yeah. Mission accomplished.
I know. And there's nothing you could do. Nothing you could do.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot for that look into sports, Brian.
That's the when the news anchor takes it back from him. Like, hey, a nice job there, Brian. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot for that look into sports, Brian. Yeah. And when we come back, we'll have one final.
Yeah. Okay, and second coach for the halftime.
Starts off with Ball State women's softball, I think.
That's the lead.
Yeah, big lead.
In Muncie.
Yeah. And a great drill is, if people are trying to do this on camera, is the degree of difficulty. Like, have the prompter go down. Make sure that the highlight you're going to show doesn't show up on time. Just so you get used to that panic. And we've all had it, made mistakes, tripped over things. And I had sweat rolling down my forehead. But if you practice almost getting in those moments, you at least know what that feeling is like. And there's no net if it's live TV, but if you at least understand what that feeling's going to be like, it's like being on a roller coaster. You don't know what that feeling's like until you're on the roller coaster and you go, oh boy, I remember what this is like. That's what I even with the students at Full Sail University, present them, put them in a position where they can fail to understand what that feeling is like, because the camera never blinks.